My name is Michael Johnson, and I'm a teacher here at the Asheville Yoga Center. Very delighted to be a part of this movement of yoga here in Asheville and in the world. I think that it has great potential for anyone who has a mind and a body. Many people spend hours, years, trying to master things like the piano or golfing or other these distractions and things that can distract them from the suffering of life, the difficult times that we go through, the ups and downs and the challenges. And I think it's great that people are interested in mastering two things that will help them overcome the challenges of life, to be able to make peace with the ups and downs, which is their own body and mind. And that's what yoga offers. And it's at least a 5,000-year-old tradition that keeps getting better through the years. Now that it's come to the West, it has the benefit of both an Eastern and Western perspective on how our mind works, how our body works. It has benefited greatly. I've been to India, I've studied pure Eastern yoga, and I'm very happy that we now have yoga here in the West as well, and that we're keeping, some of us are keeping the integrity of both the Eastern and Western perspective and seeing where they overlap and growing from that. But also taking notice to where they don't overlap and understanding more. And I think that the whole practice of yoga that's being taught in this studio and many other studios in the area is not just a physical exercise routine that you go to once every 2 or 3 days for an hour and escape from life, but rather it's a practice that you're learning, perhaps even every day, that you can take all throughout life, all day long. You can practice the essence of yoga all day long. You can practice the essence of yoga with all of your relationships, and we're so fortunate to have so many incredible instructors and practitioners who can share with us their experience to where we can catch up at least where they are, if not surpass them. And in my understanding, the essence of yoga maybe is sometimes conveyed through an asana practice, a practice of postures, sweating and deep breathing, and sometimes loud music that stirs your emotions, hopefully in a good way. But I think that that's just a tool to communicate the essence of yoga. The essence of yoga, I think, can be explained very well in the Five Niyamas, which basically means what we should do. What the ancient lineage of wisdom that is called yoga says, these are 5 things that cause happiness and reduce suffering in yoga. So the first one is called shaucha. Shaucha is cleaning up our body, our speech, and our mind. First, it implies that we have a deep interest in what causes suffering and what causes happiness so that we can stop suffering and increase our happiness. And then whatever it is that we're acting on, saying and doing all day, just stop the causes of suffering and be clean in the way that you only act or speak or think to cause happiness for yourself and others. So that's my understanding of shaucha, in addition to taking a shower every day and cleaning up your home and trying to keep the environment clean. The next practice is santosha. Santosha is to be happy with yourself just the way you are, right now in this moment. To give up all the judgments that you may have collected over the years about yourself or others, right now. And to just see yourself in your intricate beauty, just the way you are, without judgment. If you can do this with yourself, even for just a minute, you'll feel better. And if you keep doing that, you'll feel better and better. And you might be able to do it with others. And love them just the way they are. It's a doorway to happiness. After all, that's what we're after. Whether we're doing yoga, piano, jogging, golfing, we're after happiness. And that's how you get it, santosha. Santosha does not mean complacency. It does not mean just because we're perfect the way we are right now that we don't need to pay the bills or go to work or take care of ourselves, or avoid illness. No. It means we're beautiful and perfect, but we still need to do stuff. We still need to find out what needs to be done and take care of those needs in the best way possible. So santosha is a non-judgmental way of life, but I think it's a crucial part of happiness. Can't have it without it. Then comes tapas. Tapas is a daily practice, a routine that makes your body physically strong, makes your mind clear and calm. Physical practice like a good yoga practice every day to keep your body healthy and limber. It could also mean very careful diet every day, where you start to wean off of the things that may taste good in the beginning but cause you suffering later. Instead, you just go for the healthy, fresh, green foods, local, organic foods that build your strength and help you build stronger neurons, so that way you don't have dementia and brain damage later on in life. So tapas is basically self-discipline, but not self-discipline to make yourself feel a little bit better about the things that you shouldn't do. Okay, it's self-discipline based on self-acceptance, on love. Love for yourself and others. So you work hard for the people you love, as well as yourself. That's tapas. My teacher, Veronica, who I studied with in Michigan, she said, real tapas, real self-discipline sets you free, brings you closer to happiness. And then the fourth way, I think, to convey the essence of yoga is through swadhyaya. Swadhyaya means self-study, to study the true nature of ourselves, which is a mystery, the true nature of ourselves and therefore others. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you listen to what everyone else says and then whoever sounds the best, you take their authority. No. You ask the questions for yourself. You are very skeptical about everything. You look at all the possible ways of seeing the world, all the perspectives that you can take, and find some sort of way to integrate them into a coherent whole within your mind. And then once you have found coherence within your own mind, try to make sure that coheres with reality itself. I mean, if all we did was just make up whatever we wanted to ourselves and told ourselves that's how things are, but it didn't correspond to reality, it wouldn't help us very much, or others. It's important, therefore, to correspond our understanding of the world with reality, so that way we can help others more quickly, more widely. So swadhyaya, don't believe anything that you hear, read, or are told. Instead, seek the truth for yourself, and always remain skeptical and willing to act on what it is that you believe with love, and to increase happiness and not suffering. And then the last of the 5 ways to convey the essence of yoga is Ishvara Pranidhana. Ishvara, I mean, if you look at the essence of the word, the way that it appears in the Indian tradition, it means teacher. And a teacher is someone who gives us what we need to know in order to survive, what we need to know in order to relate to one another, what we need to know in order to be happy, to avoid suffering. So we've had many teachers in our lives. And I think the greatest teachers that we've had are our own ancestors. So Ishvara Pranidhana. Pranidhana means, prana means your life force, your energy, and dhana means to give. So it means to give our awareness, our attention to our ancestors, to our teachers, those of us who are giving us the wisdom that has been collected over past generations. So we don't have to reinvent the wheel every generation. We can learn from what our ancestors have taught us and stand on their shoulders. And it also means to think not just into the past, but also into the future, because if we do a good job of surviving and find happiness and freedom from suffering to some extent, wouldn't it be nice to pay it on to the next generation, to let our children and their children benefit from what we've learned in the highest possible way? And so it means understanding that we are going to become elders at some point and ancestors for our future generations. So Ishvara Pranidhana is a way of expanding your identity from just this one small little mini me that maybe started with our birth and will end at our death, and expand that identity out to include our ancestors, which if we go back to our parents, our grandparents, great-grandparents, and on back into as far as we can see, we all have a common ancestor. And so to wrap our identity around that, to where we're all one, you could say. And also to wrap our identity around our future generations, which who knows what they will become, who knows what potential they have. So a way to connect to that is Ishvara Pranidhana. It's the yoga of compassion, it's the yoga of love, it's the yoga of wisdom, all in one. So if you want to come to a place that honors the sacred traditions of yoga and also keeps it real, where you can learn love, self-study, good fun, hard work, self-discipline, with compassion for ourselves and others, non-judgment, and a way to keep it clean, then come to the Asheville Yoga Center. We're open 7 days a week.